dust storm, man. Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
Alright, so we're 1 week removed from our big 100th episode, and now we gotta try and carry that momentum forward. This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe, and of course with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey Doug, how you doing this week?
Doing pretty good, Joe. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Still, gotta pinch myself a little bit.
Oh yeah.
We had a lot of fun last week.
Yes, we did.
So gotta, come down from that a little bit, but still carry momentum,
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, I'm really digging the new intro too. That's
I like it.
fun.
It's pretty
Fun
cool
stuff right there.
Right.
But yeah, there's not a whole lot going on this week. Everybody's revving up for D23 though.
Right.
By the time this show goes live, it will have happened. But doesn't mean we can't mention the schedule and what we can look forward to talk about next week.
Right. I'm really excited to learn some more about the Mandalorian. That's one thing I'm really looking forward to. Episode 9 aside, I got a feeling that we're going to be in store for some really good stuff with that.
Well, I think they've already confirmed a new trailer for the Mandalorian for D23.
Awesome.
So that's big news. And that panel, I don't know. So are they streaming any of this stuff? I haven't been able to.
It will be streaming. Yes.
Okay. That's huge.
Yeah, totally.
That's one thing I've liked about Star Wars events and stuff like that since Disney's taken the reins.
Right.
There has been tons of streaming. So we can catch these panels even if you're not there.
Right.
And the one you're talking about there, the big look at the Mandalorian and all that stuff is going to be at the Disney Plus showcase panel on Friday, starting at 3:30. So I'll be tuned into that.
Absolutely.
So hopefully at the point of listening to this, everybody's already watched it.
Yeah, hopefully. So if you haven't...
yelling at us going, they talked about this.
Yeah, I know. If you haven't, that's the panel to go back and search for. Right? Because I'm sure you'll be able to find it on YouTube.
Yeah, I believe the other big one to watch is going to be the... I think it's the behind the scenes with Walt Disney Studios.
Okay.
So that's going to give us a look at what's on board, what's coming down.
Okay.
So that's probably going to be the one that we see any Rise of Skywalker information that we're going to see at D23.
Right.
And that one will be on Saturday at 10 a.m. And the big thing about that one that hints that we're going to see something big, well, at least the people in the room will.
Uh-huh.
Because it does say cell phones, cameras, and all recording devices will be checked for this presentation.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I got a feeling they are going to see something then.
Yes.
So, if they're going to get to see something a little advanced, then... what do you think? We talking like full-length trailer or what?
I've heard rumblings that they are not only going to show a trailer, but they are going to show just maybe not only going to show a trailer. Maybe they're not showing a trailer.
Okay.
But maybe they're going to be showing footage from the film.
Wow.
So maybe see a scene or something.
Right.
And if that's the case, that's going to be one of those instances where the stream will go dark.
Right. And man, You're checking your cell phone and recording devices. I would almost imagine you'd have to sign an NDA as well. You know?
Yeah.
Don't talk about this.
Welcome to the panel. Here's your. Please give us your cell phone. Here's your complimentary NDA.
Right.
And
by accepting admittance into this room, you are waiving all rights to talk about what you see in here.
Yeah. Under penalty of removing your tongue.
Right. Wow, that's a little medieval, dude. I think they just sue him. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, back to that the Disney Plus showcase. That will be heavy Mandalorian from what I'm seeing.
Right.
Because it does say that executive producer Jon Favreau will be joined by Dave Filoni and other special guests for a sneak peek at what's to come in the series.
Awesome.
So that's front of the description for this panel. It's probably going to be the Mandalorian, and here's some of the other stuff we're working on, and then the Mandalorian.
Right. So I was just going to ask, you think we might see anything else from the Clone Wars, or are they going to keep that tucked in their pocket until it's closer to coming out?
Well, Dave's there.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
So maybe we'll see a little something. But I think that's a card they're gonna hold, they're gonna hold close.
Okay.
And not reveal too much. Because I think they're looking at the Clone Wars as, look, everybody knows what to expect from the Clone Wars.
Right.
Okay? You don't have to hype it like a new show.
True.
So people have an idea of what to expect. They've already given us a kick-ass trailer.
This is true.
So they may feel that's enough to kind of slake the thirst for the Clone Wars until it comes out.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
and the Clone Wars, with this being the big conclusion, I think much more than the trailer we already got might give stuff away.
Yeah.
And I don't think they want to do that given the absolute love for that series.
Right. I mean, we are talking, there's 12 episodes or something like that they're doing?
Yeah.
So, it's pretty limited what we're going to get in the first place. You don't want to give it all away up front, for sure.
Like, maybe they'll share some of the, some more of the concept art, things like that.
Right.
Just flash a few pictures of Ahsoka and get everybody hyped.
That's all it would take.
That's all it would take. So, yeah, I don't see too much coming from the Clone Wars or too much from anything else for that matter. I think they're just gonna, this is the stuff that's coming, along with Disney Plus. And here's the Mandalorian.
Right.
Here's what is the big hype for this service, which is new Star Wars content.
Yeah. Maybe some stills with Cassian and K2SO or something.
I mean, you might see some of the. Maybe there will be a preview of some of the Marvel stuff that's coming.
Right.
That's another big draw for the platform.
Oh yeah, totally.
So, that's my guess. And I know, like the behind the scenes with Walt Disney Studios panel, they have a much more broad description of everything that's coming, like of everything that's included in this panel. Because the Disney Plus showcase, just the whole description's The Mandalorian.
Right.
The other panel is glimpse what's on the drawing board for acclaimed filmmakers at Walt Disney Animation Studios and Pixar Animation Studios, and get a peek at the exciting slate of live-action projects from Disney, Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, Star Wars. And then it says, as always, attendees will be treated to exclusive footage, special guest appearances, and more.
Okay.
So, and that's a slightly longer panel.
Right.
At 2 hours.
Wow. Okay.
So a 2-hour panel. Yeah, you're gonna see some Marvel stuff. You're gonna see some Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I don't really know what's close in the whole Marvel production right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what's close to release. So I have no speculation as to what they might share.
Right.
I know they've started, hyping up the new Thor and things like that.
Right.
So
I'm sure whatever it is, it's going to be, something to pump everyone up for this Disney Plus, for sure.
yeah, for sure. And then of course there's another Disney Parks panel and what's coming for Galaxy's Edge. Maybe a little sneak peek at Rise of Resistance.
Oh, that'd
Rise
be cool.
of Resistance.
Yeah.
Because they haven't really shared too much about that, and it's getting closer and closer to when that's actually going to debut.
Right. It is kind of nice that we still have something exciting to look forward to with Galaxy's Edge, as far as something no one's seen yet. So,
Part of me makes me think that's almost intentional.
yeah, it might be, but I like the fact that there's more to come. And I know there's going to be knowing Disney, there's going to be more to come years down the road as well. But even for as fresh as it all still is, this is like that last present underneath the tree that's tucked away in the back you didn't see.
Right. So, since we're talking about Disney parks, it seems like a good way to segue into this.
Absolutely.
So the Star Wars Hotel that's going to be at Disney parks.
Yes, we've all been excited to go check this thing out.
Yeah, well, I mean, excitement might be deflated a little bit here.
Okay.
So they got the anticipated pricing out for the hotel.
Okay.
Well, first off, this is not a hotel that you're going to be able to go stay one night at. Okay.
Oh no?
They do not offer a one-night stay package. It's not allowed.
Wow. Okay.
So it's kind of, people are referring to it similar to like the cruise line.
Okay.
So you can't buy a one-night package on a cruise line.
Right. Right. Of course.
Boats got to go places,
Yeah.
So they're marketing it similar to that. So the full experience is a 2-night, 3-day experience.
Okay.
And the pricing for such an experience, if you go by yourself, okay, one person, 2 nights, 3 days, starts at $3,300 US.
Hold on. I thought you just said $3,300.
I did.
Oh my God.
About $1,000 a night.
No, more than that per night. That's per day.
Or yeah, per day.
Wow.
So yeah, about $1,100.
Wow. Okay.
So if you want to take your family, say you got a family of 5.
Okay.
That'll take up the entire occupancy of the cabins. Okay.
Okay.
That sleeps up to 5 passengers.
Okay.
That will give you a better per person per day price.
Oh, excellent.
But that price is $7,200.
Oh my Lord. Okay. Wow.
So I mean that's a $1,440 per person rate for the stay, which sure beats $3,300.
Oh, sure. But oh my God. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there are plenty of people that are going to do this and they're going to love it. And it's going to be great.
I'm probably one of those.
But wow. I'm astounded. Okay.
Yeah, these I mean, they do say that it does, and like I said, they're marketing about, being similar to the cruise line.
Right.
And like the cruise line, food, select beverages, and entertainment will be included as part of the experience.
Oh, excellent. Like personal chef and
Yeah.
For entertainment, okay, I got it. For entertainment, I want to race in a pod race. Like for real.
Yeah.
For that price.
For real, Joe.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely expensive. It is not family friendly price wise.
Right.
Because let's just look at it here. If you're going to a Disney park, okay, you want to go to the parks.
Right.
So if to include this in your stay, I mean, that ups your Disney, vacation by $7,000 for a family of 5.
Yeah.
And okay, let's just say it ups your, since you're paying for 2 nights, let's just say it ups your overall budget by $6,000. Okay.
Yep.
So take 2 nights stay at another place out of there, and that's on the high side. That's you're staying at the Floridian.
Right.
Because the resort we stay at, we like to stay at the Caribbean Beach Resort. We really like it. It's open. It's got a lot of, in the park or in the resort stuff for you.
Yeah.
Food, beverages, things like that.
Right.
So we really like that place. And that, I think we paid somewhere around $215, $220 a night.
Okay.
So that going to almost $1,000 a night, that's a huge jump.
Sure is.
And with park tickets, right around $110 a day.
Right. Wow. I mean, that price has got to include park ticket, right?
It doesn't say that. I would hope this includes a Galaxy, at least entrance into Hollywood Studios and Galaxy's Edge, or, 2 Galaxy's Edge in California, which is part of the just Disneyland park. So in California, I don't know how they're going to work that out.
Yeah. They're going to have one of these in California?
I think so. I think
Okay.
they were doing one at each.
Okay. Now this is, I don't know, to me, it's shaping up to be kind of like a really exclusive sounding thing because, I can't imagine this being as large as some of their other resorts. I mean, I can't see, if it is, I can't see it being full like the other resorts are all the time. I don't know. I would find it hard to fathom, but it's, I might be proven wrong, and everyone who goes might come out saying, oh my God, this is an experience you must go do if you are a Star Wars fan. If that's the case, then I'll have to figure out a way.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably great if you get to actually pilot a starship.
Right, yeah. You get your own X-Wing?
Yeah, I mean, it includes a 2-day X-Wing rental,
Yeah. Now we're talking.
Yeah, I have to say, we've heard about these prices and in hearing that it was going to be about $900 a night for some time. But like actually seeing it as it's getting closer and the numbers are getting a little more precise.
Right.
It's like, wow, that's just crazy. But I mean, you're going from, we were talking like $900 a night. So this package at that rate would be around $1,800.
Yeah.
That's, a little more than half
Yeah.
what you're looking at for this package.
Right. Yeah.
So quite a substantial jump from what we were hearing before.
Exactly.
Because I don't know how you get, like, so 2 nights, 3 days. I mean, do they count your checkout time as a full day?
I don't know. Here's one thing, though, I will say, right? This is, Disney as a company has, like, the resort branch. I'm sure they've focus grouped this, and they have, they're sure they can, keep this experience running at those prices. So I'm pretty sure they got this pretty squared away, as far as like.
This might be the one thing that Disney does that people are like, no, this is just too expensive.
It could be. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at right now, to be honest about it. I mean, I would love nothing more than to go have my own personal Star Wars experience like that, but that's a little beyond the reach right there.
I mean, because you're talking this price point for 2 nights, 3 days at this particular resort is approaching the cost of your average family of 5's total budget for a Disney vacation.
Yeah.
Like, let's just say on average, people for the entire vacation, including travel and everything, approach about $10,000. And that's probably even on the high end.
Yeah, it would be.
So, yeah, you at $7,200 for a family of 5 just to stay for this experience. It's about the same price as an entire vacation.
Right.
For a lot of people, this would be $10,000, including travel costs and everything, just to go stay at this resort.
Exactly.
So that's quite pricey. You say they focus group it and everything like that. I don't know who they picked for their focus group.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I can only imagine that they've done that sort of thing. I would hope. I mean, you can't just arbitrarily pick these numbers out of the air. And I know they have like, costs to recoup and all that, but it's got to be within the means of people to go and do this, Yeah,
because I mean, I can see the Facebook campaigns now, like selling kidney to go to Star Wars hotel.
Right.
Like, it's definitely pricey.
Yeah, that's for sure. Let's just hope that it's really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, well, that definitely has the potential to be something that would be very painful for Disney if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, I agree.
Because not only is it just going to be something that doesn't fill up, but if the people that are doing it are having negative reactions to it, it's going to have bigger repercussions for Disney's reputation and Disney park reputation as a whole.
Right.
As just them seeking out money.
Yeah, if there was anything that would make fans of Disney parks accuse the company of that, just money grab sort of situation, this could be it.
Yeah, because I can't. I mean, this price would be a little more believable if it was 100% like all inclusive.
Yeah.
So like, even if you were going there and all your beverages, whether, because they say select beverages, so that means, yeah, you're going to get free soft drinks.
Yeah.
I get free soft drinks at the pizza buffet.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
so that's not selling me on $7,200 for 2 nights.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went to the Dominican Republic, didn't spend $7,200.
Right.
Flight, hotel stay, and everything.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll just have to
we'll see.
wait and see.
Yeah, these are just, they're projected numbers. So, margin for error, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But what's the margin for error as we get closer?
We'll have to check out Trivago or something. See what they say.
Yeah.
I kid.
Well, that's going to be the way to do it. You know,
Right.
when they're not filling up rooms.
Yeah.
You go to one of these sites like Travelocity or
Yeah.
something like that and get the rooms for $300 a night.
Yeah. Somehow I got a feeling that won't work.
Give it a couple months.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you gotta like, how do I make this a business trip?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I can write this off. Yeah. If you figure that out, let me know.
Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna figure that out.
Right.
But yeah, moving on.
Okay.
I have a feeling I could complain about that a little longer if I wanted to. But so for everyone who's still playing Battlefront 2, more good stuff coming for Battlefront. You know, it's
Nice.
They're definitely repentant. You know, they made some serious mistakes in the beginning, and they're definitely trying to rectify that. And keep bringing out their updates have all been pretty sizable. You know, they're major updates for, I'd say for the seasons.
Uh-huh.
If I had to put a title on their release frequency, I guess call it seasons.
Okay.
Yeah, they're bringing back some game modes that were pretty loved and kind of missing for a lot of fans of the series, because it kind of lacks a little bit of single player experience.
Right.
Okay, even though it has a campaign, the things that people loved about Battlefront is you were kind of playing a multiplayer feeling game
Right.
on your own.
Right.
So they're kind of bringing back some modes that will help make the single player gamer happy.
I like this. This is a good thing.
Yes.
I think I've mentioned it before. That's the kind of gaming that I prefer to do. I'm not necessarily a big online gamer. You know, I don't like to get involved online playing with a bunch of other people. I know it can be fun. It's great. You know, and everyone who does it, I hope they have fun with it. But personally, my type of gaming is, when I can and just pop on there by myself and just, play a little bit of a campaign or something like that.
Right.
So it sounds like this would be more up my alley.
Yeah, so they're bringing back the instant action game mode.
Okay.
Okay, so instant action was like a large battle versus AI that isn't as dumb as most AI in video games.
Okay.
Actually, it if you aren't paying attention, it could beat you. You know.
Okay. Cool.
So, yeah, I think that's good news. Just bringing that back. So even for me, I'm a multiplayer gamer.
Right.
But sometimes I just want to sit down with my games and just toy around a little bit, do something quick because I only have 20 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
This is a good mode for something like that for me.
That's awesome.
Because I can jump in, get my Battlefront fix, and move on for the rest of the day,
Right.
Whereas right now, the main game mode that I enjoy is Capital Supremacy, and that takes time.
Right.
So I've been in battles of that have gone on way longer than they should.
I
So,
think we've all had gaming sessions that did that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, also mentioning Capital Supremacy, they're bringing in smaller versions of the Dreadnought and the Venator for a into the map rotation for the heroes versus villains mode.
Okay.
So, give you a little bit of a couple fresh maps for those modes.
Nice.
But another thing that's fun is they're bringing back clone commandos.
Oh, cool.
So that'd be fun to play as them again, because I mean, one of my favorite Star Wars games I ever played was Republic Commando.
Heck yeah.
So being able to play as a commando again would be fun.
Right.
They're also bringing in a co-op PvE mode.
Okay.
I haven't seen a ton of details on that, but it looks like it's a 4-player co-op mode against the PvE, so it's player versus environment. So you're going to play against the AI. I'm sure it'll have certain scenarios you have to complete, things like that.
Okay.
Haven't really shed too much light on what that's going to include.
Okay. Sounds cool, though.
Yeah, okay, so here's some details. You can team up as either the Republic or Separatists to fight across all 5 Clone Wars planets in Battlefront 2. The mode will involve both attack and defense roles, and all of the troopers, reinforcements, vehicles, and heroes are playable.
Nice.
So, that's fun.
Yeah, totally.
And then one of the... And probably the improvement that's going to be the most visually appealing
Mm-hmm.
is they are adding the planet Felucia.
Ooh. Nice.
So,
Giant tulips and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Big mushrooms.
Right. That's awesome.
Very colorful.
Yeah.
And last but not least, the big update to include content for The Rise of Skywalker will be coming in December.
Ah.
That one includes absolutely zero details because, of course, they don't want to spoil the movie.
Right.
So,
Interesting.
yeah.
So there's actually more to look forward to with that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like
They,
that.
like I said, they are doing a good job with saving this game. This game was heading in a very bad direction for quite some time.
Right.
You know, when you played the campaign and you felt at least a little bit of satisfaction for getting to play a Star Wars campaign again, that quickly faded when you jumped into multiplayer and realized that if you really wanted to get anything done, you had to pay money.
Right.
It's like, well, why did I give you $60 for a game if I can't get anywhere with it? So,
Yeah, that was just the door fee.
yeah, which is more and more common in gaming these days.
Right.
I've definitely beat on EA for this a lot,
Yeah.
but they're not the only company that's guilty of this.
Well,
EA just tends to do it more than other companies.
right. It sounds
Because-
like they're making good with this a little bit here, so that's good.
Yeah. So let's hope they keep going this direction, and this game actually might get a little shelf life and replayability.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
It's definitely better than the idea that they were just going to come out with one of these every year.
Oh, absolutely.
So, polish up the previous year's version a little bit. Like
Right.
they like to do with Madden and, NHL and
Right.
FIFA. They're realizing that model doesn't work for Star Wars. It's just not.
No, Star Wars is something that has some staying power. And I would say that crosses over into the video games as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that Star Wars fans wouldn't appreciate a new game every year.
Right.
Star Wars fans absolutely would.
Yes.
But Star Wars fans don't want to see the same thing get slightly more polished year after year.
Exactly.
They want new stuff. It's got to be meaningful
Yes.
to carry the Star Wars name.
Exactly. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, that's what's coming from Battlefront. Lots to look forward to. You know, game's still got some staying power, so I'm happy for that.
Cool.
Have something to add to the conversation? Or you just want to let us know how we're doing? Email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. That's the best place to get in on the action. But if social media is a little more to your liking, @TheWarsAndMore on Twitter is always a good place to interact with us. And we're also on Facebook, facebook.com/TheWarsAndMore. And of course, your portal to this and everything else, The Wars and More, is thewarsandmore.com.
All right, so GQ did kind of a fun little thing. They did this thing with bringing in actors and talking about iconic characters.
Yes, these they did this with a whole bunch of actors, and these actors get to talk about iconic characters. The name of this series that they've played in the past, and their thoughts on them and stuff, and they did a lot. Okay, they did. I saw. In there we have Jeff Bridges, Ethan Hawke, Kevin Bacon, John Goodman, all kinds of people, right? So, with there being so many, I cherry-picked a couple out of here, and they, with their iconic Star Wars characters that they played. So, we have a few clips here, and I guess we'll start off with Paul Bettany from Solo, a Star Wars story. And he talks about his experience. He was talking about another iconic character he played prior. And I forget the character's name. He's in the Da Vinci Code, but the antagonist there.
Yeah.
And this is how, he met Ron Howard through that, and they grew to have a friendship. And it pays to have friends, as you'll hear here.
I got very lucky. Again, it's Ron Howard. I heard Ron was taking over the movie. I texted him saying, "Hey Ron, have you ever spent long winter evenings wondering why you're not in the Star Wars franchise?" I have. And he sent me back, LOL, I'll get back to you. And he did. And I thought I was going to be a stormtrooper or something, just because I wanted to say I was in Star Wars, because it was so important to me as a kid. And he made me the main bad guy in Star Wars. And like 2 weeks later, I was flying over to shoot. That was an amazing experience for me, because in 1977, I was 6 years old. I went to see Star Wars. It was like when Dorothy steps out of black and white into Technicolor in Wizard of Oz. I was taken from this sort of grey, rainy, miserable 1970s London and transported to another galaxy. And I just thought, I don't know what that is, but I want to be a part of it. And 40 years later, Ron Howard made that possible. And so he has saddled me with a debt that I can never actually repay him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about, having some reverence for a franchise and his ability to actually play a part in it is like, that's amazing.
Well, that too, and it's another actor saying that they watch Star Wars and they're like, I want to be there. I want to be in that.
Yeah.
It's he's 6 years old. That obviously helped steer his career choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, not saying that Star Wars was the reason he wanted to get into acting. No, but that imagination and that desire to be in something like that is obviously a motivator.
Yeah.
And yeah, just Star Wars yet again proving to be one of the influences that send an actor down their path.
Absolutely. I thought it was a beautiful way he put it too. Like Dorothy walking out of black and white and into Technicolor.
Yeah.
That is, again, another iconic reference, but that's how so many people, even fans, just fans, feel about that. That's the way it was, I don't know. Thought that was really cool. So
yeah, and real quick before you get started again, I didn't want to derail you when you were starting that clip. But I can't let this go without giving you a little bit of guff because we both like the Dan Brown novels.
Right.
And I cannot let it go that you did not remember Silas's name.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry. I'm just speaking stream of conscious here, and it's like, couldn't think of it right off the top, so it was like, okay, move on. But okay.
Yeah, you said that, and I was like, oh, come on, man. But I'm going to let you roll for right now.
Right.
But I can't let it go.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I'd have done the same to you.
I know.
So, another actor that we had in this series is Ben Mendelsohn, and kind of goes over his thoughts on playing Krennic. So,
middle manager as principal villain. It's an interesting idea. I have peddled the line, and I will continue to peddle the line, that he is the man that built the Death Star, even though there's a very strong argument that Mads Mikkelsen's character may have. But right? I mean, you get a chance to claim you built the Death Star. I'm taking it. I'm running with it. Star Wars. I mean, I went there. I watched that film as a kid in Melbourne, in the city. Star Wars was just like huge for me. Gareth, he approached me in this sort of super secret meeting, and I went to the top of some Beverly Hills hotel and sat on the thing, and he said, I want you to play the villain in this upcoming Star Wars movie. And I was like, really? And I had to keep a lid on it for forever. I mean, when Darth Vader turns up on a set, yeah.
Just yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, wouldn't we all have that feeling? We're acting in a Star Wars film, and there's Darth Vader. It's like, oh yeah, this is it. This is what it's all about. I mean,
and he's standing in this like grand, entryway in the Vader's castle and getting ready to shoot this scene. You turn around and Darth Vader walks out. It's like, I would agree.
Yeah. Exactly. That would be the feeling. That's for sure. But again, here we have another actor talking about, when he was a kid going to see this movie in Melbourne, and talking about how huge Star Wars was. Again, this is something that left an impression on him, and was obviously thrilled to play the part in it.
Yeah, and this this way that they talk about Star Wars when they saw it, and the imagination and things like that, and how they loved it, that passion came through in their acting. They really sold their roles.
Oh, for sure.
Both Paul Bettany and
Ben Mendelsohn. Yes.
Damn it. That's karma coming back to bite me instantly.
Yes. I'm loving it. Okay. but you're
Instant
right.
karma.
You're totally right, because both of them, you could the evil coming off their portrayal of those characters is palpable. I mean, you can't help but hate them in that role, which is exactly what they were doing their job. You know what I mean? That was perfect. So,
and Ben Mendelsohn he's just an awesome actor to have play a bad guy.
Oh, totally. So, another bad guy, nice way to segue, Joe. I love it. Another bad guy he played was, Sereno in Ready Player One. This is, another franchise that we've talked about on this show. If
Another
you go,
one we really enjoy.
What's that?
Another one we really enjoy.
Oh, correct. Absolutely. If you go back to, I don't know, somewhere around the first of the year, I think we did a show on Ready Player One. So,
and talked extensively about Ben's performance.
Yes, absolutely. So, here he is talking a little bit about that.
That's the best screening of a film that I've ever been to in my life. South by Southwest screening of Ready Player One in Austin. The first time anyone ever got to see that film in the public. That is the wildest experience and the best experience I ever had watching a film.
So all I got to say is I did not get the same experience that he got watching that film. No. I have to say there was, and again, I urge you to go back and revisit the episode we did on it. There was enough, it's an excellent movie. Okay. I love it, but it's enough of a departure from the book that I didn't quite have that experience for, going to see the film for the first time. So
yeah, I like this because this is a really fun opportunity for us to continuously plug one of our old episodes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because we go into and we explain how it's not just us saying it's not just that, oh, the book is better.
Oh, no. It goes far beyond that.
Far beyond that, because we don't say that, oh, the book is better. We say, look, this is one story and the book is another story, and they both have really great things about them.
Right.
But this is such a departure from that if you try to piece the two together as this, synergetic thing, it just doesn't work.
Exactly. It doesn't work out that way. Correct. So,
and another thing I want to mention, and I think I went over this in that episode, is so the character of Sereno was a character that I did not, when I was reading the book, envision someone like Ben Mendelsohn playing.
Right.
I really anticipated this kind of burly military guy.
Right. Almost like a Terminator type.
Yeah, maybe not so much that, but definitely like to not use an actor and use a historical figure, like a Patton.
Okay, I got you. I got you. Yep.
Yeah, so kind of looking like that, just this, tough,
gruff
military guy.
Right.
Ben Mendelsohn carries himself in a little more of a sophisticated manner than that.
Right.
He's more of a sophisticated villain.
Yeah, totally.
So I did not envision him, but he took that role and played it in a way that I think connected with the book very well, even though it wasn't what I envisioned. So that's one thing I can say that, the movie did similarly to the book.
Yeah.
Even though it didn't match the that image that you put in your head, because when you read a book, you're kind of playing this movie in your head.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this image that I generated of this character did not match him at all.
Right.
But and that definitely goes into this whole iconic characters thing, because he took that vision that I had and kind of crushed it, but at the same time killed it.
Yeah.
So
and made it his own. That's for sure.
Yes.
And
very Krennic-y, you know.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh, that's, sorry, but you mentioned Krennic. It's and you mentioned Krennic, and then you mentioned the sophistication of Sereno.
Mm-hmm.
They're both excellent villains, but it's not the same villain, right? I mean, they're two different. It's not him playing a character. It's him playing two separate characters for sure, which is just a credit to his acting ability.
Yeah, oh, he's fantastic.
Right. So, speaking of his acting ability and what he had to do a little bit, he talked a little bit about what it was like making that movie. So,
Spielberg, look, I'm a fan of, I grew up, I love all this stuff. I still feel like a kind of a fanboy nerd, and I do pinch myself and kind of get a bit blushy and a bit like, essentially, you're dealing with a film which, is very, very largely in virtual reality. That took an enormous amount of time and discipline. So technically for him, it's really a post-production piece. But what it meant for us in terms of the capture stuff is really kind of as usual, but in the sort of white blank space where you've sort of got to play tendy, pretendy, about what's where and what not.
I'm not sure what tendy is, but
pretend.
Yeah, I get it. It's just funny.
Yeah, it is great though. Tendy.
Yeah,
I am definitely going to use that in the future.
Yeah, it's kind of cool how he's talking about how in the making of that film, how they did things with all the VR and stuff. It was kind of a different experience for him acting, especially with someone with so much experience under his belt. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And like we talked about on the Ready Player One episode, watching the behind the scenes footage for Ready Player One, and he described it a little bit right there. They are literally in this big white room.
Right.
I mean, it looks like a hospital room, like sterile room, you know. It is absolutely crazy to think that you have to, as an actor, place yourself in a realm that doesn't exist in the space you're in.
Right.
There's literally nothing in that room for you to interact with.
Right.
You're not looking at any of the features of the world you're pretending to be in.
Exactly.
So that had to have been tough and kind of exhilarating and fun at the same time, because, like you said, you have to rely on your imagination and play pretend.
Right.
So,
yeah,
all the actors in that, they phenomenal job.
Right, for sure. He also talked a little bit about the gushing over Steven Spielberg, right? So, I mean, I think, unless you're already buddies with him and have already worked with him, I could see that happening, right? But staying on Ready Player One for a moment, we'll move on to another actor who's done some work on it and had a little something to say about, Spielberg and his part in that movie as well.
I love any chance I get to work with Steven Spielberg.
Oh, no.
He is a fantastic director and a wonderful man, and it's someone who shaped my love of cinema and films generally. So, to get to play Ogden Morrow was a treat. Ogden Morrow was the co-creator of The Oasis with James Halliday, who was played by Mark Rylance. I got to play Ogden at various stages in his life, as a young man, as a middle-aged man, as an old man as well. And that was really good fun, because I got to go in to have aging makeup, and that took about 5 hours. But it was really fun to look in the mirror and see myself as an old man, which I do every day these days, but as an even older man, let's say.
If you didn't recognize that voice, that was Simon Pegg.
Oh, I did.
So, again, a little bit, I think I get the impression that everyone gets a little gushy around Steven Spielberg, but
yeah,
who wouldn't, right?
Yeah, I mean, hey, you get to be in this movie, and oh, by the way, it's directed by Steven Spielberg. It's like, oh, I'm going to be famous.
Right. Exactly. So that was kind of cool. I mean, I think he did a great job with his character, now in contrast, his character in the film was a great departure from what was in the book.
Yes.
So, again, I think we point a lot of that out in our Ready Player One podcast episode. And, I still agree with the character being considered an iconic character, though completely different. So,
I mean, so I think I even said in our Ready Player One episode, like I was kind of like, man, where's Ogden Morrow? Like he's just not included in here. He's such a
right
pivotal character in the book, and then it's like, oh, but he's played by Simon Pegg. I'm good with it.
Well, since you're, I guess we have our opinions. Especially you have yours about Simon Pegg. He also touches on his iconic role in Star Wars. So, and
oh no,
here we go.
Star Wars: The Force Awakens is a film in a series of movies which began in 1977 with Star Wars: A New Hope, as it was called a year after it came out, and then Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, The Phantom something, Attack of the Things, and Revenge of something. And then there was another one, and it's this.
He did it.
He did it.
He did it again.
He did it again. Yes.
And I gotta say, he did it again, and not even that long after he apologized for doing it in the first place.
Right.
Because there was all this backlash over The Last Jedi and this kind of, I don't like using the word, but I'll use it, toxicity.
Right.
Fandom.
Yep.
And because I don't like just calling everything that's like a negative opinion in Star Wars toxicity, because it's not.
Agreed.
Agreed. There's toxic stuff, and I would call some of this stuff that he does toxic stuff.
Sure, because
and he apologized for being an accessory to all that.
Right.
But it turns out, I guess, that all that was bullcrap.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. Coming from this recent interview, I mean, so the way I look at it is like this: there's toxicity, and there are contrary opinions. Right? You can have contrary opinions, but when you unprompted, just talking about the Star Wars film that you had the opportunity to be in, you have to denigrate the prequels.
Yes.
I mean, come on. So,
yeah, there was no question about, and there wasn't even a question about all the original trilogy stuff, like
right.
Everything's unprompted here. He okay. Yeah, you saw A New Hope and you loved it, and that kickstarted your lifelong fandom, right?
Uh-huh.
And along the way there was some stuff you didn't like. Okay, cool, you didn't like it.
Sure.
It doesn't mean you have to be a jackass
exactly.
all the time.
Exactly.
I mean, look, there's some of us that like those movies.
Yeah, there's lots of us that like those movies.
And, you know, just like you wouldn't like hearing, so I'm pretty sure Simon Pegg wouldn't like hearing comments like that about a movie that he made. You know, I mean, you want to throw shade at the prequel trilogy because it's not like the originals and doesn't pay homage to the originals in the way that you think it should, but then you go and make Star Trek Beyond. I mean, really, dude?
Right. Yep. Also, one of those characters that he spoke about is iconic characters in that video. But I just didn't bring it in for this show because obviously, you know.
Yeah, because it's part of that other
Star franchise, exactly. But you know, I mean, that's one of those deals where you're listening to the guy talk, and you get this thought in your head. You're like, okay, so tell us how you really feel, right? Mm-hmm. So, I guess this might be how he really feels here.
For me, it's always about the money and how much they're going to pay me to be in these films. No, you look for complexities in characters, you look for layers and interesting sort of subtext. I love a character who has something going on inside, which you have to communicate in subtle ways.
How do you like that? I'm sure it's a joke, but you know,
yes,
it can be taken out of context, you know, and you know, you're gonna bash on our prequels like that. We can do that. Like,
I love any chance I get to work with Steven Spielberg. He is a fantastic director and a wonderful man.
Whoops, that was
misfire.
Misfire. Yeah, taking it out of context, like.
For me, it's always about the money and how much they're going to pay me.
So yeah, we can make him look bad too. For our own humor. How's that?
For him, a character is all about layers.
Right.
Layers. You know, like an onion. Onions have layers.
So, you know, is it that he's just joking, or is that the truth wanting to come out? I don't know. Right?
Yeah, I mean, did he play Unkar Plutt because of the many layers of the character and the depth that that character went, and its importance.
Right. Yeah.
No, he played that character because he got to be in his natural habitat of being a jackass.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've always kind of been irritated by the stuff that Simon Pegg has said about the prequels.
Sure.
Like I said, it's one of those things for me. If you don't like it, fine. You know, I made the comment about Star Trek Beyond.
Right.
You know, I didn't like the movie.
Right.
I didn't think it was good. Not even a little bit. But I don't go around talking about how bad this reboot of Star Trek is, you know?
Right. Unprompted.
I don't do that.
Interject that into every conversation, right?
Right. You know, it's not like, I watched the Wrath of Khan, you know, a few weeks back, and man, that made me think about how Beyond really sucks. I don't do that.
Right.
It's just
exactly.
He just can't help himself, but, you know, bash on the prequels and then give this half-hearted, you know, sob story kind of apology. Like, I kind of wish I wouldn't have done that, you know,
but he just
because
can't
of the
stop
Last Jedi and everything that happened. And
yeah.
Whatever, dude. I don't understand it.
Right. I'm with you.
You know, and I'm of the same opinion of every time you get on a thread where someone posts something about how they liked how something happened in The Last Jedi, right?
Right.
Or how much they really love porgs.
Right.
And you can't go through those threads without having someone interject with, "Worst Star Wars movie ever." Like,
True.
Look, dude, the person who made this post about how they like porgs really doesn't give a shit that you don't like the movie. You
Right.
know? Like, they really don't care. They like porgs. They like, you know, they like how they make them laugh. And that's the beauty of Star Wars is there's something in this grand saga that we have for everybody.
Exactly.
And just because you don't like something doesn't mean you have the right to every time someone says something go, "Oh yeah, that sucked."
Right.
You know, okay, we get it. You didn't like the prequels. Fine.
Yep.
Move on.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and you know, I like characters that have layers and depth, things like that. Look at the character growth of characters like Anakin throughout the prequels, or Palpatine.
Right.
Palpatine has this massive character growth throughout the arc, but yet they still managed to keep him, as Hunter said, mysterious.
Yeah, for sure.
You get all this backstory into Palpatine's rise, but you still don't know jack about him.
Right.
He's still mysterious.
Absolutely.
That's bad storytelling?
No.
I don't see that. You know, I get it. You didn't like Attack of the Clones because of, you know, the scene on Naboo. You didn't like that. That
Right.
was boring.
Right.
Look, I like Attack of the Clones. I thought Naboo was boring.
Right. Yes.
I don't just bang on that, you know, like.
Absolutely. There are good things to be taken from every single one of these movies, and things that we could all probably leave out. But you got to get through all of the parts to get a complete picture, right? And the complete picture is what really matters in all this. So,
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
You know, and you know, Simon Pegg, like look, as Scotty, I liked him as Scotty. I thought he did a pretty good job.
Right?
You know, I love Shaun of the Dead, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shaun of the Dead is hilarious.
I love that movie.
You know, but you know, I will talk more about how I like Shaun of the Dead than I will about how I didn't like Beyond.
As it should be.
You know, it's just, look, we know you love the prequel, or you love the original trilogy. Just say that.
Exactly.
You know, the original trilogy was, you know, inspiring. It you know, helped jumpstart my desire to be an actor. You know, that's all good stuff.
Yep. I think we have two very clear examples with Ben Mendelsohn and Paul Bettany, and how, you know, you can show reverence for, you know, the
Reverence. Class is the worst word I would use.
well, I was going to say reverence for the franchise and do it in a classy way. Yeah, for sure. Totally.
Yeah, there's two people that every time they open their mouths about the prequels, I just roll my eyes. And it's Simon Pegg and Patton Oswalt.
Right. It's you could pretty much interchange the way they sound when they're talking about the prequels. So, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, it sound kind of the same when they do that. Kind of sounds like me, real annoying. Like.
Right. Well, I'm sorry to bring the show down, but
No. Here comes Simon Pegg to play you the song of his people. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
If you have anything to add on any of that, you can always email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media, facebook.com/thewarsandmore, @thewarsandmore on Twitter. And you can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsandmore.com. Any final thoughts this week, Doug?
No, I think that about covers it.
All right. We will talk next week.